All right, let's piss some people off. Whew. Hi everybody, my name is Justin. Welcome to Game On, show all about tabletop gaming from RPGs to board games and everything in between. I saw the D&D movie. Before any of you guys jump to attack me through the screen, I saw the movie. Even though I have some less than loving taste, less than good things to say about Wizards of the Coast right now, I went to go see the movie, if only to set a precedence to the movie industry that people are interested in these kinds of movies. I'm sick and tired of remakes and IPs that are just kind of boring and dumb. Even though this isn't an original IP, it's nice to see something like this come out of Hollywood, and then hopefully it'll set a precedent for games like Paizo, maybe Cyberpunk game, an R. Talsorian-backed Cyberpunk movie, maybe even a Traveler movie. That would be cool. So I just wanted the world to see that people are interested in these kinds of movies. And even though I don't really like Wizards of the Coast, and I'm kind of bored with the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons right now, it doesn't mean that I don't want what's best for the industry. And I think going to this movie and showing the movie theaters that we're interested in this kind of stuff really can help the industry as a whole. Let's talk about wokeness, sort of. I have read a couple of comments, not only on my channel, on other channels. Some people have even posted stuff in a couple of the Discords I'm in about how the Dungeons and Dragons movie has gone woke. So I live in Connecticut, which is a very blue state, and I have a pretty good idea of what wokeness is, at least to people on the other side who like to call things woke. And there's a lot of talk about the characters, the male characters, being emasculated in this movie because they are they're trying to push a narrative. The writers and producers are trying to push a narrative that men are weak and women are strong. I will go as far as to say that's total bullshit in this movie. I'm sure that there are some movies where they push agendas, some other medias where they push agendas. Even if you try, even in Game On, our initial inherent biases creep into our videos, even if we don't mean them to. And I just want to let you know that I think all those people who have written those articles, or all those people who are posting articles or saying, "Oh man, this movie is woke," haven't seen the movie. There is the highest praise I can give this movie is that it feels like it was written about a real life adventuring party from a D&D group. It's got all this wacky, crazy, silly stuff that goes on the side, and there are people who seem to be crying out that there was a critic on Rotten Tomatoes who was like, "Oh, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's Dungeons and fucking Dragons." There's very few adventuring parties that take themselves seriously in that game. Everything turns out into jokes, and everybody is playing the game to have fun. And it doesn't take itself completely seriously, and I like that, because if it took itself too seriously, then it wouldn't be the Dungeons and Dragons I know. The only seriously toned game I've ever played in was a Curse of Strahd game, and that game even turned out to be kind of funny and goofy at the end. Okay, so I did read that CBR article where the two screenwriters told Variety that they purposely emasculated the characters. Um, Part of me thinks that they did that tongue in cheek because it doesn't feel like they did. And let me give you some big examples why. So we have ourselves the Druid in the party. For the life of me, I can't remember her name. She's a tiefling, and she turns into an owlbear. So yeah, druids can't turn into owlbears unless they have something special going on. Um, but a moon druid, who would be the one to best turn into something like that, can only turn into a CR3 creature, which is what an owlbear is in 5th edition at level 9. So they're at least level 9, this druid. Now, this mage, the sorcerer, I'm sorry, light spoiler here, does cast reverse gravity twice in a long rest. That means, so reverse gravity is a level 7 spell, meaning that they had to be at least level 13, but they cast it twice, meaning that they had to have at least been level 15 so they could have a level 8 spell slot to upcast the reverse gravity. The druid doesn't show anything higher than a level 9, what a level 9 druid can do. So even if the druid is higher than level 9, she is still somewhere within the level of the sorcerer. The sorcerer is not probably any higher than level 15, but probably isn't any lower level than 15 because they cast reverse gravity twice. So the druid and the sorcerer are somewhere within the same level of power. So that doesn't sound like it's emasculating the male sorcerer, who is objectively probably a higher level. So I don't know about that. People are saying that's emasculating a male. Doesn't know how D&D works. Secondly, the barbarian that Michelle Rodriguez plays, yeah, she rages a lot. She can't be much higher. She's not higher than the sorcerer. She pulls off some pretty crazy stuff, but just being a baseline berserker, she doesn't pull off anything that anybody higher than probably level 12 barbarian would pull off. So her barbarian is not emasculating the men. The weakest person in this is probably Edgin, which is Chris Pine's character. My friends, if you've seen our off the cuff, I'll put it right here, our off the cuff, right out of the movie theater, first ideas on the movie, our first impressions, my friend Wendell said that he thought that Chris Pine's character, again, was a bard because he plays the lute. We don't see him cast any magic. I think that he's a mastermind rogue because he's really good at coming up with plans and helping the people during the battles with basically giving out orders, which is basically what a mastermind rogue does. They're not really designed to kill people. They're more designed to help the team through utility support. And very tiny spoiler, he does something at the end of the movie that would suggest he is a level 17 mastermind rogue. Due to not being able to have like a mind reader, magical mind reading, and he's able to kind of bluff his way through a magical thing going on. And that's a level 17. That's higher than the female characters. So that doesn't seem very emasculating. And then on top of that, the Paladin, who is part of the party for just a little bit, who, by the way, takes out more characters or more enemies than all the party combined. by himself, single-handedly, he has what shows to be roughly equivalent to what a 5th level spell would do. He didn't say he casts the spell, but he does something that a 5th level spell that a paladin can cast does. To cast 5th level spells as a paladin in 5th edition, you have to be level 17. And the fact that he takes on a whole bunch of really good fighters all by himself does not show that, does not coincide with the fact that they are emasculating the male characters. These characters are typical 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons characters where they have to work together. Yeah, all of them are really good at a lot of things, but they have to work together to make it work. That's how Dungeons and Dragons works. You can't just solo a whole quest by yourself, at least a quest of this magnitude. The bad guy, I would say, I had to write this down. I think the evil mage is probably at least level 17, because she casts a 9th level spell. So she's pretty high end. But on purposely, a party of 4 or 5 characters fights a higher level character than them, because then it would just be a steamroll. So it's on purposely that the bad guy or the bad girl is a higher power level than each and every one of these characters individually. But that's because in Dungeons and Dragons and in all role-playing games, you need to have the party to come together and destroy the big bad evil guy. And that's not to say that the predecessor to this big bad evil guy, which is a girl, I would say is even more powerful than this girl. So, and you see this person in the movie. So, even the person that could be behind the big bad evil girl is a guy who is just as powerful, if not more, which is not emasculating him. So, to say that this is emasculating the male characters, they all are incredibly powerful. Everybody in this party is incredibly powerful, just like any higher level D&D characters should be. Just because Chris Pine's character doesn't do flashy magic, I mean, if you've ever played a Mastermind Rogue, you know that Mastermind Rogues don't do flashy magic. They're a utility and support class. So he's doing exactly what he would do. Also, I want to say that they don't, if you are one of those people that say a man and a woman is a traditional relationship, if that's what you think, then you'll be happy to hear that that is the only relationships that you see in this movie. They're not, there are some people who are crying out, I have heard, that they're afraid that they're going to push non-traditional family values down our throats. I'll have you know, this isn't really a spoiler, there's no relationships in this movie that isn't just a man and a woman. No one is trying to force any kind of other relationship down your throat. Personally, I'm a supporter of the LGBTQ plus community. I'm an ally for them. I support them. But if you're against that, you'll be happy to know that there's none of that in here. They're not trying, because there was no need for it. There's nobody in this. It wasn't like they didn't try to take some of that and put it into the movie just to put it into the movie. There was no place in the movie for it to be, so they didn't put it in the movie. So they're not trying to push an agenda of that onto you either. So this whole woke thing about this movie is bullshit. If you're going to claim wokeness to this movie, you haven't seen it. Or if you're going to claim wokeness or say anything bad about the characters, it's clearly you don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. So, I just wanted to make this quick video about this. I think it's bullcrap that there's people who are just saying bad things about the movie because they want to make you mad. I'm not here to make you mad. I'm here to tell you the truth. The movie, not woke. I think it's a good movie. I gave it an 8 out of 10. User review, I'd give about an 82% on, out of 100. I think it's a good movie. I think it was better than Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. It's very hard to beat the Lord of the Rings movie. This does not beat the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But it definitely beats that. It also beat Willow. This new series of Willow I'm not liking so much. I think it's much better than that, or the Rings of Power. But I want to hear what you guys have to think. So let us know in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Justin, and as always, game on.